Good morning, Cardmean. It's RJ back with another video, so let's get to it. Today's random Mike Schmidt item of the day. I found this in my stack of stuff. Shown it off a couple times before, but I like to show off these things and remind you of the existence of certain cards. If you're a player collector, you might not remember or might not be aware of. So I have here is a cutout card. This one came in a magazine called Alan Kay's Sports Card News. Alan Kay's Sports Cards. I guess Alan Kay was a sports writer of some renown back in the 80s and 90s. Anyway, he put out a magazine for a couple of years back in the first boom of the hobby age, late 80s, early 90s through the mid 90s. That was the first big boom of the hobby. And a lot of these publications would put in cards. In fact, Alan Kay's had a postcard-sized image on the front. You can cut off the front cover, which I, as a a youngster, I shouldn't say a kid, did sometimes. But inside, there was always a 9-page of cards like this that you could cut out if you were good. And usually the bigger name players of the day, in all sports too, because he was sports cards, so this was not limited to baseball. So you could find very big name players on cards in these magazines. And Sports Illustrated for Kids started putting out a publication at that time. Topps put out a magazine at that time. And some of those Sports Illustrated for Kids or Topps magazine cards can actually go for big bucks, because one of the things they did was put out cards of little known stars that you couldn't find normal cards of. For example, I think the Serena Williams or Venus Williams cards from Sports Illustrated for Kids can fetch as much as 10 grand if you get them PSA slab with a 10. And some of the early Tiger Woods cards like that, same thing. So if you ever happen upon some of those old magazines that a guy might be selling for like $5, it would be smart for you to take a moment and open up the magazine and thumb through the cards that were in there and see if it was anybody important, because you might be able to take it home, cut it out nicely, send it to PSA, get a 10, and have yourself quite a gold mine for like $1 fine of an old magazine. Just something to think about. So that is my Mike Schmidt item of the day. Random baseball item of the day. Card here from 1990 score of a player named Steve Balboni. Always loved Steve Balboni because he was one of those big stick guys who couldn't do anything but smack an occasional home run. If you look at his stats back here, he I don't think he ever hit 250 in his life. And you can see back here his first year was 1981 with the Yankees, and he only played 4 games, so he had 286 essentially. But after that, I don't think he ever cracked 250. And I was always in the low 200s. But one of the things that he did do is hit an occasional home run. He would regularly hit 20 home runs. So he's kind of like the Kyle Schwarber of his day. But, Schwarber actually drives in a lot of runs. Schwarber is a very productive run producer. Balboni was not. I don't know why he stuck around as long as he did. He's almost a 10-year veteran player. Maybe a nice guy to be around, but he's one of those players I always see and always amazed. He really does look like your slow pitch softball guy who just wound up at the stadium one day, and they said, "Hey, let's throw this guy out there." And he had such muscle to crack an occasional home run. They kept him around, but I honestly don't know why. I just don't know. But Steve Balboni, every time I see his cards, I smile to know that such a guy could make a Major League roster and stick around for several years. That's my random baseball item of the day. Today's trivia question, going back to what happened on Monday. If you remember Monday, I asked the question, expansion in 1993 had the Marlins and the Rockies, and I said one of those teams had a Hall of Famer on it, named the Hall of Famer. Well, the second round, the last round of expansion happened in 1998. You got your Tampa Bay Rays and your Arizona Diamondbacks popping up for the first time. That was the first time they fielded teams, 98. The Tampa Bay Devil Rays, they were still the Devil Rays back then, Tampa Bay Devil Rays, as well as the Arizona Diamondbacks. Well, one of those two teams actually had two future Hall of Famers playing for it. So name for me the team and the two players. For example, which of the two teams was it, the Devil Rays or the Diamondbacks, that had the players on it? Tell me that, and then tell me the names of the two players. So email me the correct answer. I will include my email in the description below, along with a repeat of that question. You will have today and tomorrow to answer. We'll pick a winner on Sunday, all right? Good luck to that. Almost forgot to say what the particular prize was for that trivia question. So this here is a card from I believe it was from 1990. Living Legends. It's a unlicensed product. It's a series of different cards of different sports celebrities, mostly baseball, but it did include a couple others. 19 cards in the total set. Again, unlicensed, but that is your prize, a Mike Schmidt card. So that's what you're playing for, right? Team and the two players. For example, which of the two teams was it, the Devil Rays or the Diamondbacks, that had the players on it? Tell me that, and then tell me the names of the two players. So email me the correct answer. I will include my email in the description below, along with a repeat of that question. You will have today and tomorrow to answer. We'll pick a winner on Sunday, all right? Good luck to that. Today, just a simple thing I got in keeping with my recap of what happened while I was away on vacation. I tried to stop buying cards. Tried to stop buying things off of eBay while I was going to be gone. Didn't want the mail to pile up, and didn't want to have to say, hey, thanks, or put a rating out there. But I did get one package back. And it's something that, these items are up for sale all the time, but to get a whole set, which is what I care about, is the sets. Outside of Mike Schmidt items and some cool Phillies things, I don't buy unless it's a set. It's just who I am. It's what I collect. RJ collects sets. Well, some guy was selling two full sets of these items, which I had to have because I didn't have a set yet. They are from 1984, although they've been produced for several years. The 7-Eleven coins. So what you see here are little, kind of like Sports Flicks, 3-image. I guess these might be 2 images, only a face, a portrait shot, and a action shot of a player. And they were inserted on the bottom of a cup. And you'd pull you'd usually a Slurpee cup, which is their frozen icy drink at 7-Eleven. And under the bottom of the cup, you'd pull the bottom cover over, and there was still, the bottom of the actual beverage cup, but you'd pull that thing off, and this little coin would be in there. Now, they made, for several years, I want to say, these here are from 1984, and there are 2 sets of 24. They're almost identical, except that they released 3 sets in various areas of the country, east, central, and western parts of the nation. And down here at the bottom, you'll see this little red letter. In this particular case, it's hard for me to read, but it's letter K down at the bottom in the middle there. And Roman numeral, this guy here is 24 of 24. There were 24 coins in the set, and each one had a player. Now, the coins are not exact. The sets are not exact. In other words, player for player, there are variations, probably because of the regions of the country in which they were released. But this is a full set of 24 coins from 1984. This one, the K version, I want to say, is the central version. And then this one here, you can see here, card number 24 is different than card number 24 here. It still says 1984 7-Eleven, but the letter at the bottom is an E. And believe it or not, this was actually the Western version, not the Eastern version. And for the most part, the coins are the same, but there are some variations. Now, from a player standpoint, a player collector, for me, the Mike Schmidt version, I am trying to acquire every single one of these. I have most of them. I think I'm still short a couple. They made these coins, I believe, from 84 through 87. I don't think they went past that, but I might be wrong about that. So I'll always consult the tradingcarddatabase.com if you get a chance, because that has everything you need to know about your coin sets or every baseball product imaginable. I'm going to go through real quick one of these sets to just kind of show you the quality of players you got. Andre Dawson, Robin Yount, Dale Murphy, Mike Schmidt, George Brett, Eddie Murray, Bruce Sutter, Cecil Cooper, Willie McGee, Mike Hargrove, Kent Herbeck, Carlton Fisk, Mario Soto, Lonnie Smith, Gary Carter, Lou Whitaker, Ron Kittle, Paul Molitor, Ozzie Smith, Fergie Jenkins, Ted Simmons, Pete Rose, Lamar Hoyt, and Dan Quisenberry. So that was your 24 card set for the one region. The other region, like I said, had some different cards because it didn't end with, was that Lamar? Who was the end piece here? Dan Quisenberry ended that one. Matt Young ended the other one, a guy from the Mariners. So you can see these two 24 card sets. I did not yet have a full set of Slurpee cards. There was really no reason for me to go buy them individually. I wasn't going to spend the money to pick them up one by one. And I haven't, there's so many other things to collect. I hadn't really wasted my time searching for, 7-Eleven coin complete sets. But I found them one day while scrolling through the bay. Two sets for the price of one, so to speak. So I reached out, grabbed them very quickly, and I'm very happy I did. It's one of those sets I knew that was out there for a while and just had never acquired any one of them. And again, there were like 3 regional sets every year for about 4 or 5 years in the mid to late 80s. So this was my first purchase of a complete set. I'm going to have to work on getting the others. It'll take some time, no rush. One of those things when they come up, I'll jump on it at that time. So just a little quick thing to show off today. If you are a player collector, like I said, you want to make sure you pay attention to the letter at the bottom center, because every year there were variations of some of the bigger name players. So every year there were 3 variations of the Schmidt coin that I had to get, and I have to have in my collection right now. And if you're a collector of a similarly large name in the hobby, you're going to have to be aware of the variations annually of the 7-Eleven coin collectibles. So there you have it. That's all I have for you today. I hope you appreciated that. Hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please consider throwing me a like, subscribing, commenting, and all that jazz. I greatly appreciated that. Like I said before, I'm coming in on 400 subscribers. I'll be happy to hit that milestone. Not that it's, really important, but it's always fun to hit a milestone like that, Anyway, that's all I have for you today. Don't forget the trivia question. Shoot me an email. Come back on Sunday for the trivia recap. I hope to see you there. All right. Have a great week. Take care.